Right, do we have a motion to approve today's agenda?
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
We have the motion and the second. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Heil,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Hibbs.
Yes.
All right, on to service awards. We have Robert Crandon, 10 years of service as a truck driver in secondary roads, and he is not here today. But our truck drivers are important to have out there, and we appreciate all that Robert's done out there, and being a safe driver out there as well. So any other comments on Robert's 10 years with Marshall County?
Is Paul on? No, okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Robert Crandon, 10 years with Marshall County. On to the consent agenda, 6A, approve regular session minutes, September 13, 2023, and receipt of August 2023 claims. 6B, approve special session minutes from August 28th, 2023, September 6th, 2023, and September 18th, 2023. Approve special session minutes from September 19th, 2023, election canvass for the City of Marshalltown special election dated September 12th, and approve claims as audited. 6E, personal changes. Approve status change, Attorney's Office, Autumn Canny, Assistant County Attorney, full-time, from $76,299.84 to $88,000 even, effective October 1st, 2023. With the VOCA grant contract. Next item here, approve new hires in the Marshall County Engineers Office for Secondary Roads Department. Isaiah Moore, full-time truck driver 1, $28.60 per hour to start on or after September 28, 2023. Connor Reyes, full-time truck driver 1, $26.60 per hour to start on or after September 28, 2023. Nicholas Runke, full-time truck driver 1, $28.60 per hour to start on or after September 28, 2023. And Douglas Zabrowski, full-time truck driver 1, $28.60 per hour to start on September 28, 2023. Approved status change for Eric Devig from PD3, truck driver 3, $29.69 per hour to patrolman 2, $29.79 per hour, effective September 30th, 2023. 6F, file manure management plans for Burt Farms ID 60557 at 2747 170th Street, Marshalltown, with no changes. And that is the end of our consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes. I'd just like to make a suggestion, maybe this can be in the minutes, that we really need to raise the difference between the PT2 and patrolman 2, or truck driver 2 to patrolman 2. A dime is all that the difference is.
That's part of their union contract.
It is part of their union contract.
So that'll be something when we go into the union negotiations.
I know Paul has trouble finding people to run the road graders, and
I will make a note of that. We kind of keep a spot for union changes.
okay. And Jordan, can you explain the increase for our attorney?
Good morning, Jordan Gaffney, Marshall County Attorney. So the requested change would be for Autumn to move from the misdemeanor VAWA VOCA prosecutor position, that grant funded position, to the felony VAWA VOCA grant funded position. This position involves the felony domestic abuse, assault charges, the sexual abuse and sex crimes. It requires significant more time investment, more energy investment, and a lot more trial investment. Since Autumn's been here, she's already done 2 trials on her own. She's done 1 sex abuse trial with another attorney. She's put on a law enforcement training. I like to say that she's slayed every dragon that we've thrown at her. She's going to be fantastic attorney for this position. She's already started to do some of the work and get involved in the cases, and she's all in, and she's really excited about it.
Jordan, the status of that funding, that was approved, it's federal funding, that was approved. How long is that approved for?
3 years, and we were approved for another 3 years for that funding. And this comes in within budget, this change, yeah.
Okay, good.
Very good, thank you.
Now, I'll just add, this was due to an open position, so she's moving into an open position.
All right, any other discussion?
No, sir.
Paul is online now. If you have any questions for him.
Paul, I just, can you hear me, Paul?
Yeah, I can.
I made the comment that I'd sure like to see a bigger increase for the folks that are going to the road graders. I know you've got Eric moving up to that slot. It's only a dime difference. Do you see some value?
And yeah, I wish there was a little bit more differential there. Now, also keep in mind that part of that differential, when he qualifies on the motor grader, that's when he gets promoted to TD3. So some of that increase, the TD2 is, I'm not exactly sure what it was like a quarter, or it's 30 cents, but there is a difference there too, just when they get qualified on the motor grader, as a TD3, and then there needs to be a little bit more of a, I guess, more of a differential to possibly entice more operators to want to move out to the motor grader position.
That seems like it would be a good idea to me, anyway. Is there something we can change here in the
It
next?
would have to take it would take a union, at least
Right.
an MOU to do it, and
You bet. Well, just keep in the back of your mind, and we'll see if we
Yeah.
can make that happen.
Sure. I also want to compliment Jarrett for being the most efficient board chairman I have ever seen, because if you show up 5 minutes late to a meeting, you missed half of it.
I do what I can for you, Paul. Great, any other questions, Paul? I know we had a lot of items on there.
My four were all for open positions for people that have left and retired, and I'm still hopefully going to bring one more driver and one more mechanic. Mechanics are hard to find with our union pay rate for mechanic. It is fairly low for what a qualified mechanic gets paid in the private sector.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Paul. We did have a motion and a second, correct, on
Yes.
the consent agenda? Any other further discussion on the consent agenda? All right, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Heil,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Hibbs.
Yes.
All right, we have number 7, zoning variance number 2023, VAR 6018. It is variance requested by Joseph Deers and James Wolkin to waive the requirements of Article 3, Section 3 of the Marshall County Plating and Subdivision Ordinance to allow the applicant to file a plat of survey in lieu of a subdivision plat for the property legally described as 048217, north 1/2, southeast south of RR EX Parcel B, parcel number 8217-04400007, Marshall County, Iowa, after recommendation from the Marshall County Zoning Commission to approve the said variance, and after this deliberation at regular meeting today, and authorize the board chair to sign. Have any questions on this variance?
Do you just?
Tavius, anything you'd like to share on this?
Pretty simple. Tavius Stevens, Marshall County Planning and Zoning. The three parcels you see in yellow here are owned by the two families, the one to the north and then the two below. They are splitting those three parcels. Actually, it's really just gonna split the top parcel to the north. As you can see the line there, the other two parcels will then stay with, the east side will stay with the Deers family, and the west side will stay with the Walken family. And they plan on farming and have farmed that land together for years and now just plan on splitting it and each family farming half of that.
Do the deers have the hog confinement or the
Yes,
hog
that
facility over there in the north?
northeast where you see the 120C.
Yeah.
That would be the hoop barns with the hogs.
Right.
And then the deer's father lives in that parcel down in the bottom. Yeah, that would
Right.
be his house. So that
Yes.
is all on will be on their side of their property at that time. And walk-ins to the
Yeah.
west.
All right, very good, thank you.
Yes.
Great, seeing no issue with this, as it was approved by the zoning commission already.
I'll make the motion that we approve zoning variance 2023-6018 as requested by Joseph Deers and James Walken to waive the requirements of Article 3, Section 3 of the Marshall County Platting and Subdivision Ordinance to allow the applicant to file a plat survey in lieu of a subdivision plat for the property legally described as presented.
I'll second.
All right, we have the motion and the second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Heil,
Yes.
Hibbs,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
On to number 8, zoning variance number 2023 VAR 6019. This is requested by Robin Widener. To waive the requirements of Article 3, Section 3 of Marshall County Platting and Subdivision Ordinance to allow for the applicant to file a plat survey in lieu of subdivision plat for the property legally described. And that description will be submitted to the record that you can see there. And that's parcel number 8318-22-200-010, Marshall County, Iowa. And this was from a recommendation from the Marshall County Zoning Commission for this approved variance. All right, Tavis, want to share a little more on this one as well?
Yeah, again, Tavy Stevens, Marshall County. Just so you, a plan of reference, 250th is the road, the blacktop, or that's gravel, excuse me, road there. And then if you head to the east, that'll take you to 14. MCC is about a mile and a half up north from there. That's just a reference of where we're sitting at. You can see MCC there. This parcel of land was subdivided recently enough that this variance is needed. The northeast section of that piece of property there where it's being circled is what is going to be about 3 acres will be divided off for a shop house, I believe, to be built there. I believe the only issue we had was the gentleman that has the house and the horseshoe shape was kind of concerned with runoff possibly coming down the hill. We spoke with the builder, we spoke with the prospective owners of the new building. They all got together, explained to each other the options they were gonna take to mitigate that, and it seems like everyone was okay with that. During the commission meeting, there was no issues. Everybody discussed what they needed to, and so now we just look to move forward with approval from the.
Excellent. Any questions for Tavius? Thank you for that. All right. Do we have a motion to approve this variance?
I would make a motion to approve zoning variance 2023-6019, requested by Robin Weidner, to waive the requirements of Article 3, Section 3 of the Marshall County Platting and Subdivision Ordinance to allow the applicant to file a plat of survey in lieu of a subdivision plat for the property legally described. I'm not going to read the legal descriptions.
I'll second that.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Heil,
Yes.
Hibbs,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
All right, number 9, construction services agreement, storm siren project for $351,717. And this is to approve the construction services agreement with Federal Signal Corporation in connection with the storm siren system upgrade. The siren equipment procurement and site construction work project in that amount stated at $351,717. And authorize the chair to sign. Kim, is there anything you'd like to share on this one?
Kim Elder, Marshall County Emergency Management Coordinator. So being on the committee, we did rework the 2 worksheets after consulting with 911. There were some software additions that we needed to add back to both of the worksheets just because it's things that will work with her software already in and her hardware already in. So other than that, there wasn't any changes on it. I did attach Federal Signal and Table Rock to show those 2 changes to add back that software. So other than that, I don't think so. Worked with the committee and the board to get the contract finalized. Did you have any questions on any of it?
No.
Okay.
Great. Well, thank you, Kim.
I'll make the motion that we approve the construction services agreement with Federal Signal Corporation in connection with the storm siren system upgrade, siren equipment procurement, and site construction work project in the amount of $351,717, and authorize the chair to sign.
I'll second.
All right, we have the motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Thank you for all your work on that, Kim, and committee and all. So, hearing no other comment, questions, roll call vote, please.
Heil,
Yes.
Hibbs,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
All right, number 10, renew lease at Marshalltown Mall, September 2023 to March 2024 for storage. The lease is with Marshalltown Development Group, LLC, for storage space approximately 3,390 square feet from September 1st, 2023 to March 30th, 2024 at a monthly cost of $1,433.75, and authorize the chair to sign license agreement. Is there any increase in this? What's the
No,
difference?
this is the same rate. We have been going on, we had originally had a lease and had been going month to month. And the mall manager, he reached out to me. They wanted to have a lease to get kind of an ending date in there. I'm guessing there's some changes or something going on there, and they needed that lease in place for financing or something like that. So he asked for this, and I reached out to the courts, kind of on their court scanning project, and when that would be completed. And so that's that March date. There will be a few items we'll have to find a new home for, but that gives us a little while to get that figured out.
Is that whole cost ours, or is the court system sharing that with us? Or-
That's all ours.
It's all us. And that's all, most of that is being digitized.
Yes, that's what,
It's
right
in the
now, they're
process
in the
right now.
process of getting that digitized, and they keep coming in and picking up those loads. We have paid, we used $150,000 of ARPA funding to pay for that. We have paid all of our money out, and now it's on the state.
Yep.
It took quite a while to get that state approval, and so that's, why we're sitting here post 5 years in there. Because we had real early discussions about this, but it just took quite a while to do
I
that.
think that was one of the first things that we spent ARPA money on, wasn't it?
It really was, yes. Committed it.
Yes.
Hadn't spent any, because
Yeah.
they didn't come get them or scan them.
And is it all court records that are
It's
there?
all
Is there-
court.
Is there any other county?
No.
Okay.
Have you had any discussion with the owners or with the manager about what their status is?
I have not. We've only corresponded via email.
Yeah.
One quick phone call, so
Is
no.
this something we need to do, or can we maintain our current relationship of month to month?
They wanted the lease.
I know they want it. Is this something we have to do?
He said we may have to remove the items prior to the March timeframe. He did say that. He goes, if we weren't, I said, if we're not able to get the lease in place, he goes, well, then you'd need to find an alternate location. And for
We don't want to go there.
No, I don't want to go there for 6 months. Is there a reason you're opposed to it? They've been very, very good to us, and it's a very reduced rate. The rate they've given us is, you can see the square footage is a very good deal. They made us a really good deal and did not ask to increase it at all.
No, I appreciate what they've done for us. I'm just uncertain as to what their current status is. So if we are in a 6-month lease and their status changes, what's that mean for us?
A status change of, if they
If they're-
sell or something
Yeah.
like that, that lease would be in place and normally is honored.
Or if they just shut down and don't operate?
They just shut down and don't operate, they can come get the money from me.
But they still have our stuff.
They have our stuff and we have the keys to go get it out.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions? Do we get a motion on that yet?
No.
Well, then we need one. Anyone want to make a motion?
There you go. I'm not interested, no. A little levity, okay, all right, sorry. I would make a motion then,
I don't accept this motion.
all right.
Find an auditor.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Solosik and a second by Hibbs. I had to verify that because, just so anyone knew that
Yes.
I wasn't rejecting that.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Well, I'd like some more. All right, roll call vote, please.
Pyle,
Yes.
Hibbs,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
All right, that was fun. Now to some courthouse change orders. Discussion possible action to approve the following change order request from Bryholtz Construction. Lucas?
Lucas Becky, Buildings and Grounds. We have 3 potential change orders to approve here. I would say 2 of them are necessary and things that we need to do. One is the COR 115, which is adding a door threshold, and that actually already happened on the front door. It was something that we needed to do. COR 126 is door hardware for our elevator that exists on the 4th and 5th floor. It has a knob and it needs to have a pull, and there's some other things that need to change to make that fit code requirements. The COR 116 defrosted security film, that is something that is a decision that we can make on whether or not we want to do it. So on the 2nd floor rotunda, where they added the 3rd floor, there are windows that where you can kind of see up to the 3rd floor. And this is proposing a, it's kind of a dual action. One would be like a frosted almost film, so if there was maybe a lady standing there in a skirt, you wouldn't be able to potentially see things that for modesty. And the second is it would also be a security film, so it's not tempered glass. It isn't something that we necessarily have to do, but it's like right on the edge of what code requires. Tempered glass square footage or square inches should be, so it's probably something we should do, but it's not actually necessary, so. It's we should probably add modesty, and we're just right kind of on the edge of meeting code there. We meet it, but it's just like a few inches under.
Would you do the whole window or just part of it?
Yeah, they're actually kind of, it's broke up. It's kind of 3 smaller windows on
And
each side.
they're round at the top, aren't
Yep.
they? All 3 of those
Yep.
windows?
Yep, so it's on the east and west side, so it would be the elevator lobby and then the lobby outside of or the hallway outside of the conference rooms on third.
Right.
I take it that's your recommendation.
We should probably do it,
Yep.
yeah. But we don't necessarily have to.
I'm certainly all right with that.
I'll make a motion that we approve the courthouse change orders.
6,309.83 if it's all 3.
Yes. Change order 115, 116, and 126 as presented for the total of $6,309.83.
I'll second.
All right, we have the motion and the second. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Heil,
Yes.
Hibbs,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
All right, number 12, EMC insurance renewal discussion and possible action. I know we have Bobby Shomo here today. Got some information for us?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Bobby Shomo Matheson Insurance. Got a couple pieces of information I want to give you in addition to what we had already. That's an update on pricing. That's just a pleasure for updated reading for you guys at some point. That's good stuff. Might be looking to take one of those county positions that Paul has offered right now. The insurance industry is not a lot of fun right now. There are 3 carriers in the state of Iowa that specialize in the municipality or governmental market. You've probably followed that earlier in the year. Continental Western pulled out and left a great number of municipalities with no insurance and scrambling to see if they could find, and I'm not convinced at all of them were able even to find coverage, had to go self-insured. We're with EMC, and then I also do the insurance for Jasper County, and I have them with ICAP. And we sought an alternative quote from ICAP for this period. Insurance carriers are getting tremendous pressure from reinsurers right now, and 45 days into the process, we thought we were in a pretty good spot. Reinsurers have forced ICAP's hand where they are not willing to write any new account with property values in excess of $25 million. Near as I can tell, we're a little bit north of that. That was my levity today. We're a couple hundred, right? So we're significantly north of that 25 million. So I had hoped that we could bring an alternative quote to you, to the EMC quote. Where I've gotten to at the end of the day is I'm happy that I can bring coverage to you, because it's a really tough market. You follow Florida, since the pandemic, Florida has had 17 insurance carriers go insolvent, 17. If you watch the state of Iowa, you've watched Farmers Mutual Hail pull out completely of the property and casualty market. They're not going to be alone. Farmers just recently pulled out of Florida. It's a really, really tough time in the industry. The president of Grinnell Mutual, just down the road, just did a really, really good article in the Des Moines Register on the 24th. The second handout I gave you is that article from the paper. He referenced 4 things. He referenced inflation and understanding that the insurance industry is not proactive in responding to inflation. They're by necessity reactive. So we have to file with the state to change our rates. So we're catching up. We're always behind. Repair costs to automobiles outpaced us by 25, 35 points, trying to catch up with inflation. So he talked about inflation. He talked about building material costs have increased 39% since 2020. I'm surprised. I thought that number would be higher than 39%, but it's increased a lot. And then social inflation has really killed the insurance industry. And social inflation is just what's happened on jury awards. So for bodily injury claims, for sexual abuse claims, they've just absolutely skyrocketed. I know I insure several schools, and a lot of those sexual abuse claims now are settled in the $650,000 to $750,000 range. Very tough to keep up with. And then there's weather. Actuaries are very good at what they do. What actuaries have not been very good at doing is predicting storms and then the severity of the storm. So when I cut my teeth in the insurance industry here, I've been in the industry since '87. When we had severe storms and we had hail, we had golf ball size hail. And we've now moved to more baseball size hail. And the amount of damage that a baseball size hailstone does compared to a golf ball size, it just increases the severity several times over. If you move down to Texas, there's softball size hailstones that actually totaled houses this year. So it's just a completely different market. So that's my introduction to tell you I got your renewal, but I don't like the pricing, but there's not a whole lot I can do with it. The first handout I gave you is a little bit of an adjustment. So the one I put in so that they were timely for the meeting, you can see that I had to hand type in the deductible buy-down numbers. So we have a 1% wind hail deductible that is not something that we can manage on our bigger buildings. So when we look at the courthouse, a 1% wind hail deductible is approaching $500,000. We don't want to pony up that first $500,000. We've gone back to a deductible buy-down company, bought a second policy to buy that deductible back down to a manageable number. The reinsurance market just played havoc on me getting a renewal for that quote. I didn't have firm numbers. I had an indication, but I don't like putting my name behind an indication. I thought we'd be somewhat flat, but I put a 10% fudge number in the deductible buy down to be safe. This morning I actually did get real numbers. So the second quote is real numbers, which will reduce our numbers by about 15 grand overall. The deductible buyback policy came in pretty well. Property is where we're seeing a lot of our increase, over a $40,000 increase in premium. Understand part of that is a typical inflation guard might be 2 to 4%. EMC is hitting us with an 8 this year, and 8 probably does not keep up with inflation, but it's a decent number. In addition to that, we've had some department heads that have gotten a little bit better involved in their own departments and given us some updates. Emily in Conservation has done a really good job with the renewal. We've been out visiting a lot of sites, making sure we're in a good spot, but that caused us to increase some values in Conservation, pushing $2 million. That also affects rate. We have the new pedestrian bridge at about $250,000. So the property rate's being driven by claims. I'm still showing, the tornado, we just finally hit that 5-year mark, but about $40 million there, and we still got over $3 million from the derecho. So claims certainly driving it, inflation certainly driving it, and we've made some considerable changes with the county as well. Business auto, I can't blame on EMC. We've just had a bad claims run on the business auto policy. Over the last 5 years, EMC's paid about $500,000 in business auto claims. 29 of those are deer, raccoon, and glass claims. But not much we can do about that. But we've paid $135,000 just for deer hits, raccoon hits, and glass claims. We've also got 33 at-fault accidents, and that $500,000 of claims is driving the business auto increase. And the last line that I'd like to talk about would be work comp. I just want you to note on the work comp that the mod is artificially low. Our claims experience has not been good. It's not getting better yet. We're working hard at it with our safety group. But for 2023, we've had 12 claim submission. I can't really break them into we have a problem in a certain area or a problem in a certain department. We've had all kinds of different claims from somebody checking a radiator while it was still hot and getting burned, to people on a ladder turning and having an injury from being on the ladder. There just isn't, I can't say we have an issue in any one category. We just had more than our share of claims. So the 12 claims that are open for 2023 have a reserve of about $105,000, and that puts us in an unprofitable range there, and I don't think we're going to look forward to a good mod adjustment for the next year. Hi, guys.
So does EMC come and work with our department heads on improving
Absolutely.
safety for who our workers' comp provider?
Yeah, and that's IMWCA.
Okay.
And we've got the head of the claims department for IMWCA as part of our safety group. He works directly with Dan and with me. We're working really hard to put a safety manual in place that is workable, not just to have a document, but a document that people understand. a safe environment is what we're all after. You're going to have some work comp claims because of the size of the county. We can't get it down to no claims. We do want to keep track when we're having a lot of slips and falls, or we're having a lot of at-fault accidents, of following up with some loss control from that. But boy, the claims just don't follow a pattern right now. We've got claims for lots and lots of different reasons, but they're not patternable, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking about, are they proactive in meeting with department heads?
And that's some of we've got a November 1st special Board of Supervisor meeting scheduled, and Dean Shady will be coming in, and he'll be leading that meeting to provide you all information.
Okay.
Both IMWCA and EMC provide this service to the county at no additional fee. It's a value added. Probably EMC's greatest asset is their loss control department, that they just outpace the rest of the industry. They're really, really good. So as much as we want them involved, they're willing to be involved, and Nan has taken a very proactive stance. It's going to take us a little while. We got a big ship we're turning. It doesn't turn on a dime, but we're trying to address a more safe environment.
You cover Poweshiek too, did you say?
I do not cover Poweshiek, I cover Jasper.
Jasper. How do we compare to Jasper when it comes to all these situations?
Yeah, I don't know how much I can talk about that in a
Right.
public meeting. Are you talking in regard to?
Incidents.
Percentage increase.
Percentage of incidents.
And incidents, yeah, I would be interested in.
Yeah, if you would allow me not to speak off the cuff and get you some actual information, I'd appreciate it.
That'd be fine.
But I'll get you a comparison of claims, premium summary, and get it back to you.
I anticipate the mod rate will go up next year because the way it's calculated in the look back.
So the mod,
How far is the look?
the mod is a 3-year look with a 1-year lag. So there's always a year falling off, and there's always a year coming on. We've got a relatively stable year coming off and a relatively bad year coming on. So not only do I anticipate the mods going to go up, it'll be a triple digit. It'll go above 1 next year. So if you want to understand a mod looks at your frequency and severity and work comps, neither of which insurance carriers like, because frequency over time breeds severity. So if you have a lot of little claims that don't amount to much, eventually one of those claims is going to get bad. So they look at both frequency and severity. The mod calculates you're going to have some claims based on your size and the premium that you're paying. But when you exceed that, your mod goes above 1. So consider 1 like a C in school, average. It's a multiplier, so it takes what your work comp premium should be, it multiplies it by 1, and your premium stays what it should have been. So right now, your mod is a 0.86, which reflects you're 14% better than industry average. We're not. The lag factor hasn't caught up with us yet. So we're getting a 14% discount on regular rates. In addition to that, IMWCA has a discount structure that they give you based on your history. We lost a bunch of those credits this year, even though our mod went down, because they can see what's coming. And then when the mod gets above 1, we pay a debit. So if the mod's 1.1, you pay a 10% debit on what the rate would have been.
So for our November meeting, I would be interested in seeing maybe some information ahead of time about what options are for loss control and education and training with department heads.
Sure. Yeah, we would love to see the department heads involved in the safety group meetings that Nan is leading. If I could put a plug, I serve on the safety group for the city of Newton as well, and it's a very, very active safety group with all the department heads active and creating an environment. The people that are involved in the safety group are doing a great job, but it's really helpful if we can get department heads involved and push it down from the top, as opposed to having someone that works below push it.
This is not a surprise. We've been talking about this in our safety meetings here for the last 6 months, so.
Given the state of my industry right now, with the new numbers, we're slightly below 20% overall. That's sadly a really good number. I've probably got 6 accounts right now that have asked me to place them. that I can't even find insurance for right now.
Is, so you, I think I understood correctly, Bobby, 2 options and then 1 pulled out on a bid for this?
Yeah, Continental Western, I don't think would have had the capacity to handle a county our size. I don't think they'd have been in the mix. Just acknowledging, though, they are in the municipality and the governmental, they're a player, but they're completely out now. But they would have done more of the smaller type counties and municipalities. We're primarily down to 2 options in the state of Iowa, and that's ICAP and EMC. And yeah, ICAP, I think through pressure from their reinsurer, capped their property limit at 25 million, which was their way of saying,
We don't
thank
want
you, no
your
thank you.
account, yeah.
And maybe when that derecho falls off and gets past our 5-year, there might be an
Other
option 2 or 3 years
Yeah,
maybe down the road.
I'm expecting about a 24 to 36 month correction in the industry. So if you understand our industry, the primary factor is called a combined ratio. That's the amount a company pays their employees, they pay their claims, and they pay their agents. And for 2022, most carriers had about a 1.2, 1.3 combined ratio. So they were spending $1.20, $1.30 for every dollar they took in premium. What's that caused to happen is most insurance carriers have shut off new business. So I only have a handful of carriers that will even write a new home right now, just a handful. So if they're spending $1.30 for every dollar they make, first thing you have to do is stop and figure out how to become profitable before they can jump back in. That also means in 2022, they had to dip into their savings, or what they call reserves in the industry, to pay their bills. And insurance carriers can't do that too many years in a row without us getting the Florida situation in Iowa, where we have carriers become insolvent and leave the market. And when carriers leave the market, it decreases competition, which also raises prices.
Just to, he said it was just under 20, it's 19.42% increase, which is actually less than what was attached to the board minutes, so this is slightly better.
Yeah, it's about 15 grand better, and I just didn't have the numbers till this morning.
And so, that, well, at least it's the right direction.
Any more easy questions?
Well, thank you for continuing to pursue in an industry that's giving you fits at the moment, so we appreciate that, and you know, we should count our blessings that we do have the possibility to have coverage, and so.
EMC has treated us well. They've spent a lot of money here. I did have the moniker for a long time of having the largest claim in the history of the Des Moines branch for EMC. We carried that here at Marshall County for a long time. I'm happy to have released that now. We don't have it anymore. But they've spent a lot of money on the county, and they've stayed involved, and happy to offer renewal, and I'm happy to do business with them.
4 years ago, we assumed that they would drop us.
Yes, we did. We discussed it.
We were just nervous as cats on a roof that that was gonna happen.
So 19.4% is the price we pay, so, and
And
It
there
is what it
is,
is
there
in the
is some
market right now.
value adjustment there too, as he said. Emily went through and really, unfortunately, we still had like Grimes Farm, the conservation center itself, valued at the price it was built 20 years ago. Well, we all know
Yeah, and
that.
we added about 6.5 million total in values this year. That certainly affects rate, but our claims history isn't helping us right now.
No.
Yep. Any other questions for Bobby?
Thank you.
Thank you for being here today, we appreciate it. I'll entertain motions to approve the EMC insurance renewal.
I would make a motion then to approve the insurance renewal from Shomo Madsen effective 10/1/2023 and authorize the chair or vice chair to sign agreements.
I'll second that.
We have the motion and the second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Heil,
Yes.
Hibbs,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Thank you. Number 13, official notice to agencies considering requesting county funding for fiscal year 2024-25. The board requires that all funding requests are submitted to the Marshall County Auditor and Recorder's Office by December 13th, 2023 at 4:30 p.m. Applications must be accompanied by documentation to substantiate the request. And you may request a budget packet from the Auditor Recorder's Office or download it at the website listed in the agenda. So this is for the budget that we'll be planning and working on in the December through March range that we work on. That begins fiscal year of next July 1st through the following June 30th. So any agencies requesting funding, send those on to the Auditor Recorder's Office.
With the new House File 718, all local budgets are due April 30th. So that's county, cities, schools, townships, everybody. I believe it's EMS as well. EMA. Assessors as well. They've moved all local to that April 30th date, which if somebody is challenging a budget, really puts a crunch there on the end to, contest things. But just kind of an additional piece of, maybe it will change our timeline a little bit.
Had it been May in the past?
March
in the past.
31.
So it gives us more time, but at the same time, why wait till the last minute, right?
Exactly.
Let's not.
Let's not.
All right, any other questions, discussion on that item? All right, that brings us to public forum number 14. Time set aside for the public to make comments on topics of county business other than those listed on the agenda. No action will be taken on these topics brought up in public forum. Anybody, public forum? Anyone online, public forum? All right. I guess there is none. So then we'll move on to adjournment. The next regular session is Wednesday, October 11th, 2023 at 9 a.m. at the courthouse first floor meeting room, 1 East Main Street. All business to be acted upon. That session should be submitted to the County Auditor and Recorder's Office or the Board of Supervisors Office by Wednesday, October 4th, 2023 at noon. There being no furthers to come before the board, the meeting is adjourned at 9:49 a.m. Make it a great day, everybody. Thank you.
When you said that, I wanted to clap. Make it a great day.